Alright, so now that we have the data, we're going to further clean it up a little bit. We only need these last two columns. Your columns may not be quite like this. They'll be fine, actually. They'll be like this. If they're not, I can't remember where I left off. If they're like this, then we're going to sort the data. Column C are years before present, before 2003, as of or 2006, I think. And so what we'd like to do is to have some sort of chronological. So this is most recent, and it goes into the past. So if we sort, and we do, say, sort sheet Z to A, it puts the data point furthest away, 417,000 years ago, first. Now we also don't need column A and B, so I click and hold and drag to highlight these two columns. Then I right-click or control-click if I have a Mac, and select delete columns A and B. Now I have these two columns. I want to make a graph. So I go into Insert, Chart, and it will assume, it will make some assumptions, and the assumptions are wrong. This is not what I want. I want to go over here and click Use column A as labels. And then I don't want a line chart. I want to go over to this pull-down menu and select Scatter Plot. So now this is a graph of all 363 data points. Okay. Now other things we can do while we're here, we can label the graph, which you should definitely do. CO2, oops, whatever, concentrations from the Vostok ice core. And you can go ahead and then if you want the other titles, there's horizontal, there's vertical. Now, one of the nice things about this chart is that if you mouse over any of these points, it tells you the coordinates. Say this point. It's 303,000 years ago. Well, 303,953,100. So 303,953,000 years ago, and the CO2 levels at parts per million were 272.7 atmospherically. So you can see the coordinates, the time. These are years since, and then the concentrations. So in the homework, I ask you to compute the change on some of these steep sections, and you can do that. You can find the values up here, and you can find, say, some value down here, and you can find the difference in the time and the difference in the CO2 concentration. So that would help. One more thing you need, I also want you to compute the average over that 400,000 years. So if you scroll down the page to the bottom, whenever you're working in a spreadsheet, you can enter a formula, which does a lot of work for you, by starting with an equal sign. And then we're going to type average, and as I start typing it, the program is suggesting various functions I can use. I'm going to use average. And then I want the average of the column B. So from B1, colon, the two dots, to B363. And I can tell I've done it right. I can see this whole column has been highlighted. Close parenthesis. Now just hit return, and it'll give you the average CO2 concentration over that entire range. So I hope this has been helpful.